Hi all, so today I wanted to show you the Orro Venturi STC. So STC stands for spread toe carbon. Essentially it's the layup of the carbon is flat profile, so don't quote me on that, but there's more information on the Orro website. So I've been lucky enough to test the bike from a friend of mine with this bike, and the original bike setup slightly different. It had a different set of wheels, Fulcrum 400, but as I was just testing this for a couple of days, I wanted to get a feel of what an Aero bike is like with Aero wheels as well. Still got the Canyon Enduro that I reviewed back in 2020, and that's going strong. Let me know if you guys want to see an updated video. I will post another updated video. Back to the Orro then. So why did I want to choose this? Currently it's on the Merlin website for around 3,500, and that's with Di2, Ultegra Di2. So this is the Ultegra mechanical group set, as you can see, and that is mechanical group set throughout. So sorry, Ultegra throughout rather. So why did I decide to test it? So essentially, as I said, I've got the Canyon and it's fantastic for all your endurance riding, and even better with the wheels that I've got. In case you're wondering, these are the Visions TC55 disc and the disc brake version, and they run really well with the Canyon that I've got and also on this bike. So if anyone's keen to see a little bit more or know about these wheels, I can comment below. So I've been considering Aero bike for a long time, maybe the Canyon Aero or something like this. And what attracted me to this bike, or wanting to test it, well, from a price point, it comes in at the same sort of price that I paid for the Canyon. As I mentioned before, on a good deal at the moment. As I say, it doesn't come with these wheels, it comes with the aluminium Fulcrum wheels, which I haven't tested, which I imagine would be fairly quick once you get them up to speed. But I'm really keen on these wheels that I ride with due to the Vision hubs within. Other things on this bike, so it's got the FSA integrated ACR stem and FSA handlebar as well. So as you price up, as you imagine, you do get more carbon components. So this is the only sort of thing that they're keeping the cost down on. So you've got aluminium handlebars, which from today's riding experience, I'm sort of neither here or there on, because of course the carbon handlebars will keep the ride sort of fairly low weight, but it's only going to be a few 100 grams. But what I find with aluminium handlebars is that you do have that rigidity, but I suppose it's down to personal preference, and it really depends on how much you want to keep the weight down. What else do we have here? We've got Cellar Italia X3 saddle, which again, it's not my saddle, but I wasn't going to swap out the saddle. I ride with the one I mentioned before. It's a Specialized Roman. Still really happy with that. This was comfortable. It's got the cutout again. Been on sort of 100k ride today. In the Chilterns, no real issues. So I can't say fault the saddle for any reason. Really good, really comfortable. What else can I mention here? So we've got the wheels and the calipers set up for 140mm, both front and back. So that was a difference between my Canyon Enduro. And again, of course, you can change that around if you just change your caliper setup. I didn't really feel any too much difference with the braking. of course 140mm compared to the 160mm, you're going to get better braking performance from the 160. So slightly sharper, maybe a slight negative on the bike. But let's talk about the positives. Felt absolutely planted on the road. So what do I mean by that? It just held its own, and when it gets going, as you expect with an aero bike, it really holds that power down, or holds the pace rather. Just very stiff and compliant all over. So from an aero perspective, they're ticking all the right boxes, even going downhill. Today, looking at my Strava segments, just felt really comfortable, really confident on the bike. Even, as I said, with the handlebar setup and the brakes being as they are at 140 mil rotors. But of course, you've got Ultegra pads and Ultegra hydraulic calipers, which is fantastic. So instantly, the ride today was made up of two halves really. It was started off with a bit of a pace line, and then our group split up and we moved on into the Chilterns. And keeping up with the pace line, in fact, I felt as though this bike was just made for speed and flat speeds. I'd say going uphill, you do feel sort of, it's not heavy. I think it comes in at 7.9. It's not overly heavy, I'd say. Well, I don't know, maybe the weight weenies out there watching this might disagree. But that's what you expect with the more aero models. So as I said before, as this goes into speed, it just comes into its own and is capable of holding that speed. So you almost feel like you're cheating in some ways because it's cutting through the wind so efficiently as compared to an endurance setup. So of course you've got your carbon seat post, and I'm sort of find myself comparing myself to the Endurance, which has the split post seat post. And of course, again, that's all preference. You do feel your bumps a little bit more on this than you would. But I do have quite a lot of pressure in the tyres as well, 100 psi, so probably need to bring that down because I'm not the heaviest cyclist. Let's just wrap things up. I'd say if you're looking for a high speed chain gang or paceline bike, I'd say this is a really good option for those looking for something affordable, especially at this level with the Ultegra mechanical group set, again on Merlin cycles for, I believe, just around £2,500. So when you're comparing them to the big players on the market, like your Specialized, your Treks, Giants, perhaps not Giants, but the Treks and the bigger brands out there, this is really good price point. And of course, if you did spec it up some more, you're looking at more for the carbon handlebar setup. But of course, with anything, you get what you pay for. So it's really down to the fine tuning and what you want from your bike, and of course budget. But if you're considering the Venturi STC and you're doubting it, I'd say take that plunge, because this ride is perfect for high speed. Hope you enjoyed this quick review, and if you're looking for more reviews and on bike parts or any other questions on my bikes that I've reviewed so far, please comment below.